Today is going to be part one of my build series for my 2006 ZX3. This car I recently came into possession of. I've owned it for like 2 months now, but I've only driven it 5 times and I've already wrecked it. It is nowhere near stock, and I bought it with intentions of fixing it up, making it run better, just kind of giving it the love it deserved. You could tell it was kind of neglected when I bought it. And for those of you that don't know, I'm an enthusiast of these cars. I have another one outside. I'll show you here in a second. I wasn't gonna build this car. I was actually just gonna fix it and sell it. But now since I wrecked it, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, I guess my duty to fix it, if you will. I've always kind of wanted to like do a balls to the wall build. If I were to do it on my other car, it would cost me a ridiculous amount of money. This car has already had a bunch of money dumped in it for me. So now I just have to spend the remaining cash on, I guess, perfecting this thing and getting it to where I want it. So as you can see, really did a number on it. I literally just got this car back, not yesterday, but the day before. I had it at a local shop that does a lot of work for me. Basically, I was having them retune it, get it running right, and well, it decided that it was going to step out on me a little bit, and I ended up running it off the road and hitting a sign. So now we've got some body work to do. And I'll kind of go over all this stuff. This is what we're working with here. So I guess we'll address the body damage first that I did. So obviously hood's done. I wanted to get rid of the hood anyway because it had these cutouts for ventilation, which is nice and all, but this car more than likely is going to be parked outside most of the time. And I really don't want water buildup getting on all these electronics. The harness is right here. Literally the intake is right here. So it's not exactly a bright idea if you're gonna leave this car parked outside. Fender's gotta go. I mean, really did a number on it. Crash bar, if you will, that's probably gotta go. Obviously the bumper cover's gotta go. It's being held on very janky with a ratchet strap piece. But I was able to drive the thing home. It does vibrate pretty bad now, understandably. See, this has all been pushed back a little bit. We'll just pull this back just a little bit. As you can see on this side, the light is popping out a little bit because this has been pushed back. And I mean, obviously this has been pushed back too, so that kind of gives it that look. But the car seems to run fine, doesn't overheat or anything. Where I work, I'm very fortunate. I'm able to actually get body work done. I've actually, this car over here is my dad's WRX. This one was wrecked not too long ago, and all that paint work on the fender there, they did. This side was crashed, and honestly, you can't even really tell. So, yeah, I'm very fortunate to where I can get this thing into a body shop. That's basically all the body stuff I'm gonna do. This is what concerns me the most. That split a little bit. If you can't tell, it was already kind of rusted, but that split a little bit from the unibody, so I'm hoping they can tack weld that back in. And then down here, that's not very pretty. I'm gonna replace this. There's a B2 front end polyurethane that I found online. I'm not really gonna paint it or anything crazy. I'm probably gonna go for some eBay headlights or rip headlights off of a junkyard car. We're gonna go with the brightest color fender I can find, whether it's a blue one or a yellow one or whatever. Some goofy fender we'll put on here, give it character, you know. It wasn't a good looking car to begin with. The facelift of these cars is already kind of like not good looking in my opinion. And the body wasn't perfect. It's got its little patina spots from track use. As you can see, there's a rust nick there. And there's another rust nick on the hatch, but you can't really see it from here. It's not a perfect car. It won't be a perfect car when I'm done with it. I did also run up against a fence. It's better than a guardrail. But as you can see, that's kaput. And we have a bit of damage down here on the unibody. Like I said, could have been a lot worse. On to the next things. This car is a completely built Duratec. It's 2 liter. It's got a 2.5 crank in it though. I know it's bored 20 over, so it might be a 2.1. Any paperwork on it though, so I'm just kind of going by what I was told. Cooler piping needs completely redone. It has a boost leak. Sometimes it'll hit your 18 pounds, other times it'll hit 14, 16. It's kind of inconsistent. Cosworth intake manifold, these are extremely hard to come by. Kind of one of the reasons why I picked the car up. Probably a no-name Amazon blow-off valve, no-name catch can. There's a lot of massive speed stuff on here. All the turbo stuff is getting replaced. The intercooler, yeah, you can kind of see it a little bit in there. Little tiny intercooler. It's already warped because of the boost pressure in this thing, so it needs replaced. We'll go ahead and just get like a mission moto or something. This stuff, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep. When they were tuning this thing on the dyno, they have this thing cranked and they can't get a whole lot more out of it, so I'm not sure what that entails. We'll see what happens. The turbo itself back here, it's just a little tiny turbo. It spools really fast, so I'm gonna kind of go with like a happy medium. I was looking at GT 3582Rs. That way it has kind of the best of both worlds. Spools quick, but also has a bit of top end. Good for a street car. This thing's front wheel drive, so I'm not trying to push this thing to the moon. It is built, it does have forged internals. It's just, you know, how much power can you really get out of a front wheel drive platform before you're just fighting wheel spin the whole time? It already fucking burns the tires off in second gear. So this thing does have Brembos on it. So it just gets brake dust caked all over it. That's why the wheels look bad here and they don't look so bad back there. It has a European Mark 1 RS front cross member. It's lowered pretty good back here. I believe it's on the H&R coilovers. I guess we'll go ahead and hop on the interior here real quick and I'll show you what's going on. So, a little hard to get in here. It's a facelift car, so it's got all the crappy, uninspiring interior. The older Focuses have better interiors. They were rounded. They looked kind of space age. This thing has no heat, no AC, so the vents are deleted. This thing was actually a track car at one point. They just neglected the hell out of it. It does have power mirrors, power windows, Sparco steering wheel, MTX 75 5-speed, like all these cars have. I don't think anything's done to it. It's kind of finicky in first and third with grinds. If you're really slow, like taking your time into like third, if you're like that and go into third, so didn't even want to go in there, but if you're like that and you slowly go into third, it's fine. I noticed at a stoplight, if you were not completely stopped, this thing will grind. So I'm wondering if it's just not synchronized in first and third. I don't know, but I usually throw it in second then first, and that helps me when I'm taking off. Also, parking brake doesn't work. So I'll have to address that, but I just leave it in gear for now. It has this little Innovate, this is the part of the 3-bar map system. It's like this little display that cycles through your boost pressure and all kinds of stuff. That's kind of nice to have. This switch controls the fan for the front. It does still have a blower motor, so I can keep stuff off the windshield to an extent. It has your water temp, oil pressure. These are all important gauges. This is really all you need. My other one has tons of gauges that you don't really need. Kind of see it has the tack, so that's nice. Sparco seats, full roll cage in the car. It is welded to the chassis, which is another reason why I'm keeping the shell. It does have fire extinguisher, Optima battery, so it's a good basis. It's a good starting point. It does have a battery kill switch back there too. So that's kind of the direction I plan on going with it. It will need new injectors. My tuner is telling me the injectors are pretty crappy on this thing, but it's already got a decent fuel rail, so just pop the old injectors off, put some Injector Dynamics 1050s in it, and it should be good. The stock fuel pump in these Duratec cars, I've read, is good for about 400 horsepower, so I want to get as close to 400 as possible. So it's going to be a very long and bumpy road ahead of me. It's already pretty fast how it is, but now that I'm tearing stuff apart anyway, I might as well make it even faster. But anywho, here's the star of the show. That's my other one. I do have plans for this car, not as extreme as this one. I plan on doing the H&R coilover is making it a bit lower because it kind of does sit high. As you can see, I mean, it's got some gap, and it also has a decent amount of sidewall, but that's because I really don't like running low pros. We have a lot of potholes here in Columbus, so I do plan on addressing, it's starting to do a third gear grind in that car. Not surprised, it's a 20-year-old car with more power, probably double the power it was supposed to have. So yeah, I'll have to address that third gear grind, and I'll probably do coilovers on it, and that'll be it for that car for a while. But most of my focus is going to be on this one. If I had to guess a budget, we're probably going to be dumping about $3,500 to $4,500 into this thing. A proper dyno tune is going to be $900. Luckily, I already have the SCT and everything, so $900 for a tune. About $1,300 for the turbo I want. A lot of the body shop stuff is going to be not very expensive because, like I said, I'm fortunate enough I work in a place that has a really good body shop with good body techs, and they take care of us over there. So assuming that they can do this work, that's not going to be too bad. And then a lot of the junkyard body pieces, the bumper online is like a couple $100, but a hood's like $100 from a junkyard. The fender probably like 45, 50. And then painting the wheels isn't going to be very expensive at all, especially since I'm probably just going to do kind of a rattle can job and call it a day. Oh, injectors probably about $500, 550, 600, somewhere around there. I do plan on doing a lot of this work myself since, you know, I'm trying to keep it to a budget. I normally don't, so this is going to be kind of a learning curve here. I have no doubt in my mind that I can do this. We can overcome this. I was pretty upset yesterday when I crashed this thing. My body hurt the rest of the day. I was just really distraught. I didn't know what to do. I was thinking about parting it out, especially because I was considering selling it. Now I can't. So I was upset, and then I kind of had it hit me that, you know, this isn't the end. There's more to come with this car, and giving up is not something I should do. So follow to see the process of this car. I will upload basically kind of as I go, so it's not really going to be on a schedule or anything. I'll record some other content, like I said. I have this thing. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.